What's going on YouTube? Today we're going to be reviewing another Toad Venom. We have the Toad from If You Know, You Know. This one cost me $75 for the eighth. I actually bought a quarter, as you can see, so it ended up running me $150. Not cheap, but with that being said, I do think this was a really solid Toad. Curious to see how this one scores out. I did just shoot the one for the Be Easy Venom, which is his Toad Venom. If you guys want to go watch that, I'll have it linked down below. And I did put these in a head-to-head, so if you want to go watch that, I'll have that link down below as well. It was a really close head-to-head. It's actually the closest head-to-head we've ever had. So I'm curious to see how this scores out individually, just to see, what it comes to. But it was a great neck and neck. I think the If You Know, You Know was winning for me up until the third round, and then the Be Easy just outperformed it a little bit. But it was about as close as it gets. That one you should definitely go watch. It came down to the wire. But oh, I forgot to give a smell rating for this. With that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and light this up, and then we'll let it sit for a second, let that cherry get going. But I'm gonna give it a smell test, or a smell rating. I will be scoring this based off like the proper doing style system, so I'll throw that up now. Smell and looks won't go into that. The smell on this one is crazy. Much more enticing than the Be Easy one, I would say. Just a lot louder. It is a deeper, mustier, swampier Toad. More what I was like expecting from the Be Easy, which ended up being a little bit sweeter. This is more reminiscent of the firm Toad Venom that I had, but really good. Nice like lime cactus cooler, if you will. I know everyone says that, but it is kind of spot on. So I see why people say it. I would give the smell like a 9.5. Definitely one that got me wanting to smoke it. If I smelled them side by side, like this one versus the Be Easy one, I think I would pick this one. Just a little bit more enticing, a little bit louder. And like I said, like if you're someone who wants that like swampier, darker Toad Venom, this is the one for you. But yeah, smell really high, 9.5. Looks are also really good. I don't have much of the nugs left in these jars, so I'm gonna go off the video that I took earlier. But this one's gonna be pretty high as far as looks go too. There was a couple undesirable nugs or like a little bit of shakiness in the jar, so I'm gonna cut it back a little bit for that. But the nugs, like the full nugs in there, were beautiful. A lot more purple in this one than the other ones that I've had. I think overall rating wise for looks, I'm gonna go ahead and give this one a 9.4. Looks and smell wise, this one pretty heavy contender. Just Bag Appeal was kind of off the charts, especially like for Toad, which I feel like can be a little bit uglier, a little bit stimmier, super super sticky on the breakdown. Yeah, I'm excited to smoke this one again, and I'm curious to see what I think about the effects. I haven't really smoked much. I've taken a few dabs today, but it's been a little while. I'm definitely not high at all. So with all that being said, let's get into it. Good amount of flavor on that first hit, really smooth. Flavor was really accurate to what I was smelling, and there's no background noise. So starting off strong. Usually like the first hits are not very flavorful. But that one, yeah, definitely like starting off strong. I know I just said that, but flavor is super pure. Smoothness is really, really on point. Um, it's maybe not as deep as it smells as the like on the taste. The taste is still really accurate, but like just being nitpicky. The expansion, I got to pay a little bit more attention to. Same thing with the coat. Stain is there, intensity is there, purity is definitely there. Purity is one of the strongest things going for it. Expansion is there. It's a little light. I'd say. I think expansion um, and coat are the only things that aren't going to be in the 9 in this first round. But both still scoring high. Complexity, you do. There's a lot going on in this Toad Venom. I love this flavor profile. I see why Toad Venom got so popular. Obviously, the high is like a very desirable thing. We'll get to that a little bit later. But flavor wise, it's definitely an experience. There's different things to dissect every time I go back to hit it, which is really enjoyable. And they're all accurate to what I was smelling. So, yeah, really checking the boxes as far as flavor goes. So the categories that count for the most, it rated really, really high. For everything else, it was kind of like low 9s to high 8s. Let's see if anything changes here in the second round. As you guys can see here, burning pretty flawlessly. Oh, I'm retarded. Fried. Oops. I'm gonna let that chill for a second. Let that cherry cool off. I can't believe I just did that. That's so fried. High moment. I am the high is already kicking in. I can feel it for sure, which is a good sign. Nice, like Toad Venom is aggressive. I don't know how to explain it. It's racy, but it's comfortable for me at the same time. Like it's not too heady, but it is like oh, we're going. Wow. I don't know if it's because I knocked the ash off. That hit was incredible. Which like sometimes you knock the ash off, it tastes terrible. Sometimes it ends up tasting really good. Whatever just happened right there was probably the best hit I've had out of this entire experience. That was phenomenal. Hasn't lost a leg on smoothness at all. Um, really, really impressive as far as smoothness goes. As I cough, but yeah, I wish there was a little bit more expansion. That's something I'm desiring. But everything else, really, really good. This is definitely, we're only halfway through, but so far, something I would buy again. And for a $75 eighth, that's saying a lot. Um, it is expensive. Anything over, especially over like 50, I'm like, okay, like this better be pretty impressive. Yeah, I think this one does live up to the hype. And I've had this one carrying in a jar for a little bit, and I think maybe it's lost a little bit of the flavor intensity and stuff, but it's held up really well. I think the Be Easy actually performed a little bit better going back to it, but hard to say exactly, obviously. Oh, dude. No, this just got more flavorful in the second round. The intensity really, really uh, took a step up here. So, gonna note that for sure. The purity is still really on point as well. Very accurate. Um, Definitely like limey cactus cooler coming through. I getting really high. I'm losing my function to talk properly or formulate thoughts correctly or quickly. Flavor intensity and mouth coat have picked up in the second round. So we are going in the right direction. Accuracy is still really accurate. I would say maybe even more accurate because it's more intense. Stain is about the same as last round. It's definitely present. Um, let's see what expansion is like. And then the complexity is still there too. That's why I'm always at a loss for words on how to explain Toad Venom. Everyone says swampy, limey, cactus, funk. And that is just really the best way to explain it. So that's why I just use those adjectives, even though they are very overused for Toad Venom. There's almost like a layer of like new shoe or new car type of flavor, if that makes sense. Oh, I didn't pay any attention to the expansion. I'm getting really high. This is going to be one of the high ratings, the higher effects ratings that I've given anything on the channel. Definitely more intense than a Be Easy one. I feel kind of like a dumbass in a good way. In a good way. Yeah, the expansion's there. So it's not like it's missing from the experience. It's just in comparison to everything else in the experience, it is like a step back. Being nitpicky, really enjoying this one. I said it at the end of the head-to-head would be easy, and if you know, you know. But you can't go wrong by either one of these jars. I've bought the Toad Venom from the firm a few times. That one's $100 or like 120. I prefer these ones. I think the $75 ones are a little bit better. I haven't tried the Cut Right, and I haven't tried like Don Murphos and North Bay. Um, there's one other one out there that I have not tried yet. It's supposed to be pretty good, but yeah. The Be Easy one and If You Know, You Know ones are definitely rebuys again from me. We'll see how the third round performs on this one. Based on the head to head, it did lose a leg, so I am curious to see in a standalone how it holds up. But yeah, I've really been enjoying this one. Feel like I said that in a lot of my review videos. I do try to review stuff that's like pretty good. Otherwise, it's like, what's the point? If I know something's kind of midsy, I'm not gonna take the time to review it because these reviews are more so suggestions for you guys and like if I think they're worth the money. So it's gonna be stuff that's typically a little bit more expensive. I feel like, those are the purchases that I hesitate more is stuff that is more expensive. So I would like to see other people's opinions on them. And a lot of times reviewers do sway my opinion. So shout out to the people out there that I like look for and trust opinion wise, because they definitely do have an impact on what I buy and what I pass on. And I hope I can do the same for you guys and save you guys money buying boof. Flavor has dwindled going into this third round. No smokiness, no background noise, no like bad flavor, just lack of flavor, which is I'll take that. In comparison to like a smoky, harsh flavor. I guess harsh isn't really a flavor, but you know what I'm getting at. Yeah, smoking like a charm. Oh, flavor came back. Yep. Swampy lime. Such a interesting story, the Toad Venom. I I don't know when this video will come out in relation. Probably like the week after, but I have, or maybe the week of. It'll probably be the week of. I have a video coming out that is talking about Toad Venom in Michigan. It's kind of a nightmare right now. I would say like if you're buying Toad Venom, buy it from someone in Cali right now. Probably is a safer bet. Yep, flavor has fallen pretty flat. Um, it's still pretty pure. Like I said, like not getting any background noise. The accuracy, just because the intensity has died down so much, I'd say the accuracy has taken a little bit of a duck. Well, no, no, that's a lie. It's still very accurate. I'd say there's like uh, a slight bit of irritability in comparison to the first two rounds, which in the first two rounds there was literally it was like smoking clean air. So still really solid, still in the nines for smoothness. Not something I would complain about in a normal setting ever. Just in comparison to the first two rounds, has tapered off a little bit, but not really anything to complain about. Um, Coat is a little weak, and Stain has taken a step back. Expansion, yeah, this was never the most expansive experience. I'm curious. I think I have the if you know, you know. Be easy head to head, so I'm just curious how it scored out in comparison. Seems like it's rated a lot higher for me this go around. And yeah, it definitely looks like the last round is pretty similar. Um, Complexity, definitely like taking a duck off too. I'll compare those a little bit more at the end just because I'm curious, but really this is smoking down to the bone. Like I'm sitting over here complaining about things or whatever, but if you're just normally smoking, like, and I'm not being a super nitpicky reviewer, there's nothing to complain about in this joint. Like, this is incredible stuff. That's why, like, the reviews, like, it's cool to nerd out or whatever, get really in the trenches for the people that do care about that. But at the end of the day, it's like, would I buy this again? And that's 100% a yes. Choking. I am high as balls. Definitely stronger than the Be Easy one. And that one was strong. I think this is a little bit more intense than the Toad Venom. Or than the bat rabies. All these fucking animals and venom, poison, diseases. Um, I think this is going to get a 9.7 as far as effects go. I don't really know if flower can top this. I do remember the firm one getting me absurdly high. So I'm curious to see if it would give me higher than this one, or like if I would think that. Obviously, it's impossible to tell because like there's so many variables to go into that. But oh my god, I'm cooked right now, and it is a very like fun, enjoyable, comfortable high. I do like the high on this one a little bit more than the Be Easy one. Definitely is a better representation of like what I think Toad Venom is supposed to be as far as like the high goes, and is a little bit more just like intense, and I think what people are after, because that's a huge part of what made Toad Venom so popular, is that crazy high. I think obviously the marketing was on point, but it is a special strain in terms of its strength, and I think this one really shows that. So I think there's pros and cons to both this and the Be Easy, but I think personally, if I were to buy one again, there's other stuff in Be Easy's lineup that I would grab, like the Guzz, whereas like I haven't tried other stuff from If You Know You Know, which I want to, but this one I would for sure buy again if I was going to buy a Toad Venom and I had the choice between something I didn't know and this one, no pun intended, I would maybe pick this one just because I know it's going to be really solid. That depends if like I want to try something new for a review or whatever, obviously. But yeah, this one was really killer. I'm going to tally up these scores and I will be right back to give the final judgment on this. Be right back. Well, folks, that is really interesting. I would not have guessed that, but we have a new highest score on the channel. That goes to show you. I thought this one was really, really killer. I gave this one an 8.8, which, yeah, like I said, does make it the highest score on the channel. It beat out the Be Easy Toad Venom, beat out the Church OG, it beat out Bat Rabies from Doja Pack. So I don't know, maybe I just was a little graceful on the scoring of this one. It is funny to consider since it lost in that head-to-head versus Be Easy, but man, this one was really awesome. Like I was just saying, I would 100% buy this one again. I think after it cured up in the jar a little bit, maybe it just performed a little better. I think the second round definitely like had a peak that I don't remember in that head-to-head. I remember it being really good. I just like think the flavor intensity was on a different level in this experience. It did taper off in that third round, definitely took a step back kind of in every category, but 100% would be one that I would buy again, and it does take that top spot here on my channel, which I obviously did not expect since it lost to something that got a little bit lower of a score in a head-to-head, which is crazy to think about. Goes to show you there's a little bit of variance, obviously judging smoking stuff side by side, so the scoring is never an exact thing, and that's why I do always fall back on like, would I buy this again? And I think obviously you guys know the answer for this one, 100%. So that's going to do it for this video. If you guys have any questions about Toad Venom or just any other strains in general, let me know. I will have more reviews coming here soon. Probably going to change the titles of them, not just going to have them like be like Toad Venom review. Going to do like this one packs a punch or blah blah, just see if that helps for like more clicks. If you could share this with a friend, that always helps. Hit subscribe, like. I appreciate you guys if you watched all the way to this point. Have a good one. Peace. I was just so high, I just didn't give the round ratings. So to do that, the first round we had a 9.2, followed up by round 2 with a 9.2, and then going into that third round we had a 7.9, which leveled out to be an 8.8 all around. So there you go. Thought I'd say the official scores. I'm cooked. I'm gonna get out of here and go enjoy myself. Have a good night or day, whatever time it is when you're watching this. Peace.